Looking for effortless dinners that practically cook themselves? In this video, I'm sharing 3 of our all-time favorite crock-pot recipes that are gonna save you time and have your family asking for seconds. Stick around, you will not wanna miss these. We're making a tomato basil chicken in the crock pot. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put this over pasta later. I haven't fully decided, but it is currently 7:57 in the morning. We need to leave by 8:15, and I don't think we're gonna be home again until... It's possible I might be able to stop by this afternoon, but I'm pretty sure it's actually gonna be around 6:30 tonight. So we're going to hope this goes well. That's what we're gonna do. I'm starting with a little bit of minced garlic here. I minced this up in our food processor, and this is gonna go straight in. Let's add a can of diced tomatoes. Ideally, you would want the ones with herbs or maybe even like a fire roasted or something like that. We don't have that right now, so this is what we're going with. And I'm draining a little bit of the liquid, but I'm not concerned about draining all of it. Okay, I'm gonna add a can of pasta or tomato sauce. If you have spaghetti sauce, marinara sauce, pasta sauce, just add that in. That would be fine as well. Now I'm gonna start to add a bunch of seasoning, starting with some onion powder. You could use onion if you wanted, but I want a decent amount, so probably close to a teaspoon for this. And I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder, even though we already added garlic, maybe a half teaspoon. This one just doesn't come out very well. For the Italian seasoning, we need at least a teaspoon, as a matter of fact. Let's go to the pour side. Maybe even 1.5 teaspoons. Good flavor with all these here. I am gonna add some basil, and I have fresh basil that I'm gonna be adding as well. So this one is in between a 1/2 teaspoon and a teaspoon. A touch of oregano, which is in the Italian seasoning, but you know, we're gonna add a little bit more. And then honestly, if I had it, I would add a little bit of Worcestershire, but we do not. We are out of that. So let's give this a stir. Oh, salt, hello. You can see all of the bags over here. This is the drop zone. So when we're leaving for the day, we drop everything right there and it goes with us. Adding a touch of sugar for sweetness. Let's mix this together. And for the sake of prepping for later, I'm adding some heavy cream. About a 1/2 cup. You can use evaporated milk. I believe you can even use coconut milk. So if you don't want to use heavy cream, or maybe you're dairy free or something like that, you can change it up a little bit. Okay, now later on, we're gonna probably thicken this up a little bit with some tapioca flour. You can use cornstarch, whatever is your preference. But for now, this is how it's gonna start. Actually, I'm gonna add in some basil. So I just pulled some basil off of the garden.
It's pink.
It's called purple basil.
No, that's pink.
Oh yeah, the sauce is pink. Okay, we've got a good amount of basil in there. I'm gonna save some of this basil over here to add later and use for garnish. We're down to 12 minutes and we need to get out. Okay. I put my chicken in the fridge to thaw out, and it didn't thaw all the way, which is probably a good thing considering the fact that we're gonna be gone for a long time. Okay, so I'm gonna take some of this sauce so that the chicken can cook in it. Probably about 1/3. That's not quite 1/3 yet because I'm gonna put the chicken in. Add a little bit more sauce just over the top of the chicken. Be careful not to touch your chicken with the spoon though, because we're gonna be using this again later. Okay, that's good. We're gonna put this in the fridge. This is gonna go into my crock pot. So I'm gonna cook this on low for 4 hours. I think it automatically does keep warm once it gets to that point. So it'll just keep in here. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this is chicken thighs in here. So we're hoping this one's gonna go all right. All right, we just got home from our crazy busy day. It is currently 5:22. This looks good. I actually opened it up just a second ago to check it. I'm gonna finish off this recipe because it really needs about 30 more minutes after we pour the rest of the sauce in here. And while I do that, I'm gonna clean up the dishes and the cooler and all the things that we had taken with us today. So let's finish this off and get rolling. So you see here the good amount of liquid that has just come out of the chicken. I do want to get rid of a lot of that liquid. The stuff that's on the top of the chicken is actually perfect, but some of this water here, don't want that in here because I really want it to be nice and saucy. Okay, so I'm gonna start by pulling out this chicken that is all still together, which is perfectly fine with me. That works. And I'm gonna pull out the large chunks of tomato as well and keep those. Okay, so you can see here, it's not that much liquid. We're talking about maybe a half cup or so, but when you really want a nice thick sauce, a half cup of basically water can really make a difference to the thickness of the sauce. Let me just kind of break it apart and make sure there's not like really any big fatty pieces or anything. You guys know how I feel about that. You can slice this if you'd prefer sliced chicken, that's totally fine. It's, you know, it's because it's been in the crock pot all day long. It's definitely gonna fall apart. I'm gonna take about a teaspoon or so, maybe a little more of tapioca flour and mix it with water. Then we're gonna mix it into that sauce. Just a little bit of water to really kind of get it mixed together and not clumpy. Now the sauce is already decently thick, just, you know, with the heavy cream and everything. But to finish it off, we're gonna add just a little bit more thickness. So let's go ahead and get that out of the fridge. I'm gonna crank up my heat here. Okay, so remember, this was on all day really. And it was on for what, 4.5 hours or so on low, and then it switched to keep warm. My sauce has been in the fridge, so it's cold. Pour in that tapioca flour. Mix all that together, and we're gonna pour all of the rest of the sauce over that chicken, and we're just gonna let it cook for maybe about 30 minutes or so. Just, it'll thicken up a little bit and it'll heat up the sauce. And we're also gonna make some noodles to go on the side. I don't think I mentioned that. And I need to take care of the immense amount of dishes over here that we brought home with us and that were left over from breakfast. Okay friends, this has been in the crock pot. The sauce is nice and warm now. I'm gonna leave the lid off while I finish cooking the pasta. It's probably like 10 minutes or so. Also, y'all, I prepared for this meal in that I knew we were gonna have this chicken. What I didn't think of was what it was gonna go on. I thought rice, I thought pasta. I'm like, we always have tons of that in our pantry. We did not, okay? Hold please. So I'm currently making 2 different kinds of pasta. We have this spiral noodle, and then in this one, I've got bow ties because we didn't have enough of either one of them to make a full meal for our family. So this is what we do. This is actual real life crock pot or any other kind of night cooking. So like I said, leaving the lid off, and basically that's just gonna make sure that there's not, an accumulation of water. We worked hard to make sure that this is more of a saucy dish, and I don't want to ruin that. So we're going to take the lid off, leave it on high though, so that that heat stays, you know, in the actual insert of the crock pot. And then we're going to eat in a few minutes. We should be ready to go coming up here. No, leave it. This is tomato basil chicken topped with some more fresh basil. We're serving over noodles. Ours are the spiral noodles, and the kids are having bow tie noodles because we didn't have enough of one kind of noodle.
Works for me.
So crock pot meal. It's actually been in there for a really long
That's
time.
a good bite. You said chicken breast?
Guys.
Oh, okay. That's delicious.
Yeah, for a crock pot meal, that's really good.
Did you have cream cheese in there at all or
There's
something?
heavy cream.
Okay,
So that's what you're tasting, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Mine is like not super warm. But did
you just put it in here, or has it been
Well, it's
sitting
been
here
maybe like 5 minutes.
waiting while I'm getting home? So it may be that. Did you warm up the bowls?
No.
These bowls rest at a sub-zero temperature.
It's true.
So we have to nuke them for a bit.
These are oven safe, microwave safe, all the things. And so typically when I'm prepping the last bit of dinner, he'll throw our plates in the microwave and get them nice and hot. So when we put the food in there, it stays really hot, especially with something like pasta.
Right.
But the flavors are really good here. It tastes really hearty and just like a good comfort food. So, I mean, in the crock pot, super easy to make. Like I said, today was chaos, pure chaos. And we have a nice home cooked meal and it tastes really good.
I think it looks good too with the, what'd you say that was on top?
That's purple basil.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're making a slow cooker. I think you pronounce it satay, but I could be wrong in there. We've made this before. I've ordered it at a restaurant before. Nobody's ever corrected me. So if I'm wrong, please feel free to do that in the comments. I'm mixing the ingredients so that we can just take this with us rather than all of the separate things. Now, I'm not gonna add in the can of coconut milk. I'm just gonna take this part with us. It's all the other additional things that we're gonna just go ahead and mix. And just about a 1/4 cup or so, I'm adding in some red Thai curry paste. And this is the first time that I've found this brand, and I'm really excited about it because it is nut-free, vegan, soy-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, palm oil-free, no shrimp paste, no added sugar, no trans fats, no MSG, no fish sauce. I mean, it's an organic brand. Mike's Organic Curry Love. So we're gonna try it. I'm gonna add in a little bit of that. We like this, so you can go 1 to 2 tablespoons. Well, that's like 1.5. We're good. That's a good amount. Ooh, it smells really potent. Maybe I will add the coconut milk in here, because then I can shake it up, really mix it well. We'll think about it. Okay, right now it's very pasty. Add in about a 1/2 tablespoon of brown sugar. Touch more. Okay, a little bit of lime juice, and I'm doing just about a 1/2 tablespoon or so. And then this is a no soy sauce, just about a 1/2 tablespoon on this as well. That should be good. Okay, I'm gonna start mixing that together, which will be nice and fun, adding the liquid to the paste. Probably will have it all over my shirt. And since I could have just added this to a much smaller container. I don't know what I was thinking. Should I just go ahead and add the can of coconut milk? Let's do it. Why not? It's just one less thing to take. Oh, I remember why I wasn't gonna add it. Because I was gonna use 1/2 of the can in this and 1/2 of it in the rice that we're making to go with it. Oh my goodness. Now I have to take 2 containers anyway. Oh well. Okay, I think this is gonna be easier shaken rather than stirred. I've got a little over a pound of chicken thighs here in the crock pot, and we've got the sauce that we made up. Take that sauce and add about 1/3. Let's go a little more. Okay. Mix that together. This is probably a recipe that would do well with a crock pot liner. I feel like this one's gonna be a fun one to clean up. All right, lid on, and we are gonna cook this on low for 3 to 4 hours. You can cook it on high for 2 hours or so, but we have the time, so we're gonna go with low. Let's finish up this recipe that we started earlier. It's been in the crock pot for about 3.5 hours. I want to drain off some of the liquid because we're gonna end up mixing it again in this sauce. It's gonna add extra flavor, so let's do that. Let's take that leftover sauce. I'm gonna pour all over, and we're really just gonna let this sauce come up to temperature. So it's the perfect timing. Our rice is actually in the rice maker. It's cooking right now, and it's probably gonna be about 30 minutes before that's done. So this is perfect. We're serving this with some fruit tonight because we didn't really bring a lot of sides to go with dinners. So we need to use the leftover fruit. And as you can see, I just found whatever bowls we could find for this. So let's taste this one. It actually smells really good. It looks really good.
It looks and smells great.
Obviously, if we were at home, you guys know we would be topping this with some parsley or thyme or something like that to add a beautiful green color to the top, but we don't have that here. That's really tasty. You know what I think it needs?
What's the little bit of heat that's coming through?
I don't get any heat.
The tiniest bit.
I was just about to say I think it needs red pepper flakes. I think it needs a little bit of heat. Now that's my preference because we prefer a little bit of spice. Maybe like a sriracha or something. Did I put sriracha in this? No, I don't think I did. But I do think that would add just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But you definitely get that peanut butter flavor. You get the coconut milk flavor. It's really good. And it's not watery at all, which a lot of times is what you get with a crock pot meal. I definitely suggest once this is done, like I did, dump out what's in there and mix with the rest of the sauce because sometimes you get a watery crock pot meal and it is just, ugh, it's not good at all.
Yeah, that's a great idea to do that. Oh yeah, that flavor stays with you too.
It's good.
That's good. I love having sauce like that on the rice.
Yes, our kids are gonna love this one. We are gonna make some honey chipotle chicken tacos. So delicious, really easy to make too. There's a lot of spices in this, but don't let this scare you just because it's a lot of ingredients because you just dump everything into the crock pot. It's a lot easier than you might think based on the ingredient list. I'm starting with some chicken stock, chicken broth, whichever you prefer. About a half cup. And you guys know I don't typically measure all these type of ingredients, especially when I'm doing, this is meant for like more of a cooking with and marinating thing. And at the end, making a sauce, you don't have to worry about it quite as much. Just a few tablespoons of honey, so maybe 2 to 3. And the sweeter you would like it, add more honey. Now you can use like adobo, that's what it's called, right? Adobo peppers that's in the sauce and pull some of the sauce from that. That's one of those things, every time I use it, it is so messy. I'm not saying it's not delicious. It adds fantastic flavor to food. I really, really love the flavor. But every time it is so messy. So I usually will just not use that. And honestly, I do feel like you have to buy a whole can and then I'm looking for recipes to try and figure out what else to use with that. So instead, we're going to add in some of this ancho chili powder. I know it's not the same thing, but this one is easy. I can keep this in my pantry and I don't have to worry. It's not gonna go bad for a long time. So at least a teaspoon, probably more like a teaspoon and a half. We need some tomato paste. And I could have sworn that I already had tomato paste in the freezer, frozen, because you know you never use a whole one of these, but apparently I didn't. So we're gonna use 2 tablespoons, then I will pack away what we don't use. That's right at about 2. Let me just start to kind of mix this together. We're gonna add a lot more, but just so that things start to combine, I'm gonna add a little bit more broth. Even though we're only using 1 pound of chicken thighs, I like a lot of broth because I wanna make a good amount of sauce later. Because the sauce is that's what makes it, okay? Add the juice of about 1 lime. Let's go a little more. About 2 teaspoons of paprika. Come on, 2 teaspoons paprika. There we go. We're starting to get a really good looking sauce here. Now, if you want some extra heat, throw in just a touch of cayenne, sriracha, some sort of hot sauce, whatever it is that you like. Toss that in there and that's gonna give you a little more heat to the recipe. Now, everything else is about a teaspoon. So I'm gonna add some chili powder. Oh my goodness, this one, every time. About a teaspoon of cumin, which you guys know is a favorite. Some garlic powder, again, teaspoon. Onion powder. And oregano. Now we have to add in some salt to taste. Stir this together, this sauce. Y'all, it already smells amazing and we haven't even started cooking. So we're gonna put our chicken thighs right in here into this sauce that we've made. I'm gonna cook mine on high for 3 to 4 hours. You can do low for 6 to 7 hours. It's 1:45. So we need to go with the high option. I am probably gonna stir this occasionally just to make sure that all the chicken gets coated in this wonderful sauce. All right, I've started some rice in our rice maker just to go along with this tonight. I'm ready to take the chicken out of the crock pot so that we can shred that, and then we are going to simmer. We're going to thicken up the sauce, so let's take that out. We'll shred this with I probably don't even need 2 forks, look. Yep, that's it, that's all you gotta do. Carefully try and pour the sauce into this pot. I've got some tapioca flour here. Let's add some to a little bowl and pull some of this out and add it as well. That was a tablespoon, by the way. Now, once this is fully combined, add it back into the sauce. That's gonna help to thicken it up. So we do need to bring this up to a simmer. We're just gonna let this thicken up for a couple of minutes. Then I'm gonna prep everything that we need for the tacos. We will mix this in with the meat that we've already got cooked. We're mixing together the sauce and the chicken. I do think that it needs a little bit of salt. I just tasted it. The flavor is awesome, but I do feel like a little bit of salt will help to bring out all those awesome flavors. Y'all know these look delicious. I'm gonna give it a little taste real quick and then sit down and eat. Ever so slightly sweet, very smoky. I love that smoky flavor. That one is really good. Y'all, this was so easy to make. I mean, you guys saw, I just threw everything into the crock pot. Then we made a little bit of sauce. I do think that I'm glad I made some more sauce. Drizzling it over the rice, yeah. That's a good idea. We topped with a little bit of Greek yogurt, some cilantro, cotija cheese, and some avocado. So good. Our verse today comes from Psalm 90:17. May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us. Establish the work of our hands for us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new here, hit that red subscribe button and stick around. You're gonna love the video that I have listed right above here in the center of the screen. Click that. Do not exit YouTube. I'm telling you, you want to watch this one. Have a great week.